first cast in a new spot. We found the 90-10 zone that we always talk about. All right, check this out. So we just got this red solid fish, a spotless one too. Gotta love sight fishing. That is just, oh my gosh. Low bridge. Hey, this is Luke with Salt Strong. In this video, we're gonna be doing an exploration trip. We're gonna be fishing some creeks. This is after some cold fronts come in. This is very cold morning. I forgot, I don't have long pants that are clean, so I'm in shorts and I'm regretting it. But we're gonna be targeting redfish, sea trout, snook, flounder, really whatever we can catch. We have at least a decent odds for everything. This is a cloudless day, as you can see, and there's a full moon just a couple days ago. So this morning bite could be tricky. We have some power prawns. We're gonna bounce some power prawns off the bottom in case they're really lethargic. Also, we have some paddle tails. So I've got the Slam Shady 2.0, the Slam Shady Bomber. So we have a paddle tail of each size. We're just gonna go around here, look for some birds. I went on the online maps and I picked out a few spots. So I have some points as well as some coves I wanna check out. And we will let you know how it goes. We'll just do a walkthrough and we'll go through and just try to figure out where these fish are and then go out and catch them. So step one, find the fish. Step two, catch them. We're on to step one right now, and we have another probably mile or so before we get to spot number one. We'll pick up there. All right, so just stopped at the first area. This is a nice little creek mouth. And again, given how cold it is, the fish are probably gonna be lethargic, so I need to get right in their face. So I'm going with the Power Prawn Junior on a jig head, on a 1/4 ounce jig head, and we're gonna be bouncing this lure right down the trough, getting up there close to the mangroves, and then just bouncing it. We have this wind, fighting a pretty strong wind today. So, oh, dang, I might have just had a hit right there. So just bouncing this. Ooh, something just struck right there. Nice. So, there we are. Gotta love it when you get the first cast in a new spot. I think this is a jack. But this is the exact type of spot where they're supposed to be. Have a little creek mouth with some depth. Let's see what we have here. It feels like a jack. Yeah, it's a jack, but I mean, heck, that's pretty cool. First cast, new spot. I don't know, that's kind of bad luck though. So I usually kind of prefer the first cast to not have anything. But at least it didn't get skunked, right? So this is nice dark water. You can see this jack, even the colorations on this jack. Pretty cool dark looking fish. Power prawn right there in his mouth. Let's let this guy go. And that strike that I saw up ahead, that looked more like a snook strike. So we're gonna go and cover this area thoroughly. And that snook was right up against the mangroves. All right, well, at least we got some action. So right now that at least got a strike and saw a strike, we're just gonna go really slow and I'm gonna cover every bit of this zone. So they're not feeling the power prawn, so I'm gonna switch over to the Slam Shady 2.0 and that should get them. So always smart to have a couple rods rigged up, ready to rock. We'll go ahead and leave this up top. Slam Shady 2.0. All right, on the weighted hook. It's on me skipped up into these mangroves. So what we're gonna do for this hook is we're gonna embed the point of that hook up into the material. So now I can cast way up in there. I can cast super aggressive and not worry about getting snagged. Yeah, so right now I'm right on the edge of that mangrove, so I'm just tapping it off and there it just falls right down. If that was any other lure, I would have been out of luck. I got a weed. That felt so good at first. Oyster. All right, a lot of times, so I fished this shoreline a bit. I saw a couple boils and didn't get anything else. And so now I'm just coming in just to see what it looks like. Right, I've fished this area pretty good, so I'm noticing there's some oysters down here. And I'm just looking at I want to see how deep it is up by those mangroves, because if it's deep, then I know I need to punch up there in the mangroves. But I mean, just looking at them now, we're at a pretty low tide, and it's like 6 inches deep. So now that I can kind of see what's going on, most of the fish are probably going to be about 5-10 feet off the shoreline right here. So now I'm going to pump back out. I'm gonna fish just a little bit further up, now knowing that I need to concentrate just a little bit off that shoreline, and let's see if we can get something. Otherwise, we'll keep on moving. I'm really not seeing much bait activity. I saw some right at the very beginning, and then it must have just been pushing through, because I haven't really been seeing much signs of life after that very first instance. So we'll just give it another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll head off and go to another spot. All right, we're just fishing this shoreline. I'm gonna make sure the boat doesn't hit, but I hooked into a big fish. I'm pretty sure it's a jack. Have me wrapped around the boat. Let me go get the trolling motor and make sure we don't run into anything that's fighting like a jack. This is definitely bigger than the earlier one. Ooh, hello. Yeah, he hit and just ran right down the shoreline up current. Had to go around the boat. Now it's just bulldogging it down there. Yeah, big jack, big jack. Ooh, he is not happy. Yeah, we were just about to leave, and I still will leave here pretty soon. We're just going down the shoreline. There's really not much bait activity. And just picked off a couple jacks. Probably been fishing for maybe 15 minutes now. But no feeding birds. And so we're gonna let this guy go and then give it a little bit longer and then pick up and move. That's a pretty good sized jack there. These things are just so powerful. Fun fish, aggressive fish. So days like this, after cold fronts, the bite can be challenging, and sometimes these can really make for a fun time. Let that guy go. Power prawn's still ready for action. All right, so pulled up this other little spot, just a nice little cut in the mangroves, and made a few casts, and finally have one of the target species. It's a little guy. Very little guy, but we'll take it. Nice little snook. It's holding right on the edge. Let this guy go. It's holding right on the edge of these mangroves. And that is a good sign. We basically just keeping on going, just traveling around looking for signs of life. There really hasn't been any, so we haven't really seen any feeding birds, really like zero. No jumping mullet or anything, but so now we're basically just looking in holes in deeper water. And this is a nice little, deep little cut that is going from some inland bays and out to this bigger bay. And that snook was right on the edge of it. So I'm just balancing this little power prawn right down the drop off. And that thing just came up, and it was a really light hit. So I just think these fish are a little bit lethargic. It's in the 50s right now. Pretty much an idiot for wearing shorts today, but oh well. But at least we're getting some fish. And yeah, so having to really battle this wind right now. So we have both sides. Oh, there we are, got a fish. Another snook. So we have both sides that we can fish. There should be some on this side, and hopefully this boat doesn't come. Sweet, thought that boat was gonna come through here. But yeah, we've at least located some fish. So there's probably gonna be some on this side as well. So I'm just gonna hold right here in the middle, kind of have the wind and the current cancel each other out. Still a small one, but they're getting bigger. Let me get this guy up. Come on there, little fella. Oh, quick release, quick release. We were gonna let him go anyhow. So readjust the power prawn junior, ready for action. Nice little drop off right here. So I'm gonna cast up in the sand and just work it down. Right down that drop off. That's where the fish are most likely gonna be. Golly, I just had a hit. This wind is just cranking. This is crazy. So I just got thumped by something. It's reaching down to grab the trolling motor, as always. I'm very happy the sun's out. Otherwise, I would be really, really cold. That wind is just cranking, so we got to have the rod tip down. I usually like to have rod tip up to feel, but with that wind, it's just totally wrecking the line. So just bouncing it right down along that bottom, and we should be able to pick off some more fish. Hopefully they keep getting bigger as we go down. Looks like we have another little snook. Yep, another little guy. We just got out of that wind. I mean, that earlier spot, there was fish there, but I was like starting to shiver. Bad idea on bringing shorts out on a November day. Early morning. I just looked at the sun forecast, like, yeah, it'll be sunny, so shouldn't be too bad. Big mistake. Well, this little guy was not playing around. But yeah, a little snook. Let's get the pliers out for this guy, but we're fishing down this shoreline and a little visitor came over, a little friendly visitor. That's pretty cool. Like, came right up under the boat, just checking us out. So that's a big old manatee. Hopefully you can see it down there. That's a really big manatee. Never know what you're gonna see out here. That's the cool thing about saltwater fishing. All right, back to fishing. So we're gonna switch over to the paddle tail. Let me go get the 2.0. The baits, I'm starting to see some mullet. So that's a good sign. This is a really shallow shelf here. So we're fishing shallower water. Time for the 2.0. And let's see if we can get some bigger fish going. Oh no, now we have dolphin coming in. That's not good. We're at least seeing some life. We really went from seeing no life at all to now we have a bird just landed over here. We had a manatee show up, but a dolphin. Some more birds up ahead. So this is looking much, much nicer. Even though there's a dolphin right here 50 feet from me, I feel more confident than I did before. All right, so we're going down this shoreline. I've been looking for signs of life, really started way upriver and hardly any life at all. And now check this out. This is the, if this isn't a sign of there being a lot of food in the water, I don't know what is. So now pretty confident that we're in a good zone. I spooked up a good fish. I didn't see it, but it looked like a redfish boil based on the mud that it kicked off. So yeah, we have a bunch of egrets and stuff up here. And then up ahead, we have some pelicans, and they've actually been diving a decent amount. So very, very good sign. And so we're definitely gonna start fishing slower and just make sure that we dissect every inch of this water, because the odds of there being some feeding fish here, or at least some fish in general, they might be cold, but they should be here. And if we just get a lure right in front of their face, they'll still hit it even though they're a little chilly. So hopefully we can get something, a nice drag pulley here soon. All right, so see my first fish. Those birds, now I have to wait on those birds to fly over. So the wind's pushed me away, but it looked like a nice redfish. It's in the shadow a little bit, or in the reflection, but I'll be going very close to it. So that fish finally saw our first good fish right where all these birds are. Again, no surprise there. And this water is super calm. Like we're in this really windy, obviously on the other side of these trees, in a nice little protected little spot with a lot of food. And man, that fish was just slowly slumbering through there. So there's no way I spooked him off yet. So I know he's up here. Just this little bit of a wind chop, it really wrecked my ability to see it, but I at least know there's one there, at least one there. All right, Joel was changing the batteries, and I just got up close to this island, and there's two redfish. They're going right down the shoreline. I switched to the Slam Shady 2.0 on the weighted hook, and it just came out and just smacked it. Solid redfish. Gotta love sight fishing. That is just, oh my gosh. That totally made up for the fact that I'm freezing out here. Oh, that was awesome. So again, right where they're supposed to be, right? Check this out. Fighting a fish with 20 birds right behind it. And what was happening is that those redfish were right in front of that big crane. If you look up ahead, there's this big, I guess that's, or blue heron, sorry. The blue heron, so I had to cast kind of close to the blue heron. The blue heron was high stepping it, trying to eat the lure, and then this red came up and smacked it. That was just awesome. Oh, so cool. Let's get this guy up. And we're just being quiet. We're drifting away from that spot. So hopefully we can catch his buddy next. But solid fish. All right, check this out. So we just got this red solid fish, a spotless one too. No spot on that side, no spot on either side. Slam Shady 2.0 right there in his mouth. Wow, that was awesome. We're gonna let this guy go. Let's see if we can do it again. All right, just got back up to this spot, made another cast in there, and another little snook. So not a giant one, but there's some fish. We found the 90-10 zone that we always talk about. Fun little sized fish. And as we were coming up, we spooked up some more red. So I know there's more redfish. We have the 2.0. I have the Dirty Deek set up where this the 30 liter with 20 above it. And even though this water is pretty clear, they're definitely not shy to smack it. All right, I think I see some fish out there. They're right in front of that bird. That bird's gonna be trying to get my lure. Oh, whoa, whoa, oh, come on, bird. All right, it was just the bottom anyhow, but man, that looked like a good fish. Whew, but we're in the zone though. Spooked off a small red, and now we just have this bird is literally trying to get the slam shady. So I just have to be careful and make sure I always stay far enough away, because he's just in there waiting on me to make another cast. Yeah, we're going, it's actually going up around this point. I was like, let me just fish the windy side real quick, and I'd actually just lost a bigger snook, and now I've got this one, decent size. I'm just throwing the paddle tail. I've got got all this commotion in the water, so I need that extra vibration. This is the Slam Shade 2.0 again. Whoa, come on there, buddy. And got ourselves a fun-sized snook. Again, not a giant, but we'll take it. The other one was a whole lot bigger. Probably a close to slot one, but we're good to go. See if we can find some more. It should get better when we get around this point. But that one was sitting right there in all this slop. Probably just picking off little bait fish and stuff as they're going by. Yeah, this current, basically have the wind going that way strong, and this current is coming right at us. So we're at the proper position for fishing this area. We'll do a couple more right along the edge of this point. Actually, we never trout, yeah. So hopefully this is a pretty nice little grass flat. So hopefully we can get a trout to lock in the slam. But I'd like to get revenge on one of those better snook. So we got probably about like an hour or so more to fish. Been out here for a couple hours, but it's actually been a surprisingly good bite. All right, so we're idling back. We had a fun trip. It's around 11:30 now. We had to be back early, but we had a good trip. So even though this was in a brand new area, it's all about finding the fish, and we just followed the recipe. We followed what we've been showing in the weekend game plan lessons to Insider Club members. We went out with just a few good lures. So the deep water lure, right? This is for fishing the deeper stuff. The power prawn on a 1/4 ounce jig head. And then up in the shallower water, we had the twist lock hook with the Slam Shady 2.0. That was all we used. It's just a nice, good setup for wintertime fishing. Now that it's cold, we're starting to use the smaller lures, and it's working great. Both of these setups have 10-pound braid, and then we have 20-pound leader, and I put a Dirty Deeks with a 30-pound little bite section down there, and yeah, we had a good trip. So for Insider members, you can see the exact locations we found every fish. You can see the strategies on why each spot was selected. Obviously, that's a big deal based on the tides, based on the weather, and based on these fronts that we're pushing in. And it worked great this time. It was a little bit slow to get some good fish, but we sight fished a red, which was awesome. And that sure was a great trip. So any questions at all on this trip, comment down below. Insider members, you'll see the pre-trip plan and the post-trip analysis in the link down below. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. And if you're new to Salt Strong, just know that we're the best online fishing club for inshore saltwater anglers, especially if you're going after redfish, sea trout, snook, or flounder. There's nothing else like it. We actually guarantee you'll be catching more fish while saving both time and money. We do that through our premium education, our exclusive insider community, and huge discounts on all the tactical needs. To learn more, go to saltstrong.com. Otherwise, hope to see you again soon.